Hello, this is Professor Don Haley coming to you today. Reference discussion question. The discussion question we're going to discuss and briefly go over is going to be what specific restrictions are placed on police officers by the Bill of Rights. We know that the Bill of Rights are in the United States Constitution. They're the first 10 amendments. So specific ones apply in restricting, or they say tying the hands of the law enforcement, which I don't like to look at it that way because I like to look at it as a liberty issue. But First Amendment is going to be freedom of religion. It's law enforcement is not supposed to be able to tell you that you cannot go to your church, your mosque, your synagogue, or what have you. All right, that is a restriction. Speech, as long as the speech is not inciting a riot based on other, case law that has been put out there and ruled on, you're fine. You have a right to petition, right? The press. The press can't come in and control or be controlled by the police. You're going to see a lot with the Fourth Amendment. The Fourth Amendment is right to against unreasonable search and seizure. So when you're dealing with unreasonable search and seizure, police just can't walk into your house and start going through your drawers and without a warrant. Can't go and start confiscating your items and taking your things for no reason. All right, they have to have probable cause. They have to have a search warrant. All of this is outlined in a plethora of case law that's out there. You're going to see the Fifth Amendment too. We're dealing with self-incrimination, and then that's when the Miranda warnings came about through judicial activism, is what I like to call it, or stare decisis, let the decision stand, which are cases done by the Supreme Court. In that case, it was Miranda versus Arizona. Eighth Amendment, cruel and unusual punishment. Another real biggie where police and law enforcement, the hands are tied. In many situations, officers have taken it upon themselves to either not act because of fear of cruel and unusual punishment and getting prosecuted, fired, etc., and it cost them their life or the life of someone else. And then on the other extreme, you had where the officer took justice in his own hand and instituted his own street justice, where you have another violation, which would be of the Eighth Amendment, cruel and unusual punishment. So these are just some of the restrictions that apply. But whenever I'm looking at the Bill of Rights and I'm looking at law enforcement and we're talking about restrictions, I don't like to look at it as restrictions. I like to find the case law and find out the things that we can do as law enforcement officers, not things that we can't. Okay, not trying to circumvent the Fourth Amendment or circumvent the Fifth Amendment, but finding out what the rules and procedures are and abiding by them. Because let me explain something to you that I hope that we all get. And I don't like to try to convince people to think this way or believe that way. But there is one thing, if you're going to be in law enforcement, that you have to realize, and that is the United States Constitution is much bigger than you, and it's much bigger than me. So that has to be the standard, and that has to be the rule, the canon that is set, and then we must not try to change it and do our own thing, because doing our own thing is going to result in an exclusionary rule situation where evidence is excluded and a real bad person could go free. And it's about eroding the liberty of men and women in this country, that hundreds and thousands of other men and women has sacrificed their life on the altar of freedom so that we can enjoy these liberties that are afforded to us in the United States Constitution. Thank you.